Hello everyone, Kranadon here again, and I'm bringing you my third game from my Mighty Empires campaign. Sorry it's been a while since the last one, we were waiting for some other people to finish their campaign games. So this game here, I was playing, of course, my Kingdom of Aquitaine versus Sylvan Elves. So here is my list. I had a Duke General on a Warhorse, Armor Percival, Mesa Tristan. I had a Duke on a Pegasus with the Might Lance combo, who was doing all of my monster killing. Two damsels, one of which was on a horse, and BSB, the defensive build. I had 11 Knights of the Realm, 2 units of 16 bowmen with flaming attacks, a unit of Peasant Levy, full command, some ambushing skirmish Knights Forlorn, 2 units of Pegasus Knights with barding and skirmish to protect them from those elf arrows. And in rare, I have 6 Knights of the Grail with full command and Stalkers standard to help them get around all the forests, and 2 Trebuchet War Machines. And this is the Sylvan Elves list to the best of my knowledge. I didn't get a full list from him, but he had a Prince on a Dragon, a level 2 Fire Druid, a Thicket Shepherd, 35 Forest Guard, 20 Sylvan Archers in KoE. He also had 3 units of 5 Blade Dancers, 3 Thicket Beasts, 9 Pathfinders, a Forest Eagle, 5 Briar Maidens with a standard, and a Tree Father. And here's a quick overview of deployment. So Pegasus on my left, some bowmen on a hill, Peasant Levy with the damsel in them. That's my general. He's actually going into the unit of Realm Knights with the BSB. Trebuchet at the back, bowmen in the forest. My Duke on a Pegasus, my Grail Knights with the other damsel, and Pegasus Knights on the flank. Now for his deployment, he's got the Dragon, the Eagle, 1 unit of Blade Dancers, Briar Maidens, his Forest Guard, Thicket Shepherd, more Blade Dancers, his Archers at the back, Blade Dancers, and his Sentinels and Tree Father on the other side. Okay, so into the game. So we're going to have a different battle report today because my camera ran out of battery while I was filming and I didn't notice. So I decided to put together a little 2D thing like this and we'll go through it that way. So after deployment, I won the roll-off to go first, and I chose to do so. My blessing for this game was the armor piercing blessing. So here's the deployment again, just a quick overview. You'll notice the Sylvan Sentinels on the top right there. They're actually not Sylvan Sentinels. I got that wrong when I was making it. They're actually the Pathfinders. I remembered that after I remembered that they were giving me -3 to my armor with their armor piercing arrows. So in my first turn I move everything up, so the Pegasus on the left fly behind the forest just to get a bit of cover. The Peasant Levy with the damsel in moves up. The Knights of the Realm, which have my BSB and my General in, also move up. And my Duke on the Pegasus flies across to the left to try and get a bead on his Lord on a Dragon. The Grail Knights move up, they've got the damsel in them as well, and my second unit of Pegasus Knights advances up to behind the wall so that they won't get charged by anything scary. In my magic phase, you'll notice that there is a lot of skulls on my Peasant Levy unit. That is because I managed to miscast in the first turn, and of course I roll a double 1 for my miscast. I kill 12 Peasant Levy and my damsel gets sucked down the hole. Wow, this is definitely boding well for my game. So that was to cast the spell which gave the Knights of the Realm the increased ward save, so at least they have that. In my shooting phase, I managed to land a trebuchet hit on the Forest Guard and deal 3 wounds. The Peasant Bowmen on the hill shoot at the Briar Maidens and kill 1 of them, which is pretty lucky, and the rest of my shooting was completely ineffective. So we'll see if this turn has any effect on the rest of the game. Moving on to Sylvan Elves turn 2. His Waywatchers charged, the Blade Dancers, sorry, charged the Pegasus Knights on the left flank, and they failed their charge. They just ambled up a little bit, and the Tree Father on his left flank, my right flank, charged my other Pegasus Knights, and they failed their terror test, so they run away. Cool. For his other movement, his Eagle and Dragon move up into the little walled off area there. He marches his Briar Maidens up to block my Peasant Levy. His Forest Guard unit moves up, his Thicket Beasts advance, everything else just moves up, and his Sylvan Archers move up onto the hill there. In his magic phase, he cast Fireball, and I thought, okay, it's only 2d6 hits, I'll let it go. So after that he causes, I think it was 3 wounds on my Knights of the Realm. Of course I fail all of my 3-up armor saves, awesome, and I fail all of my 5-up ward saves, awesome. And then he gets the Law attribute off, which is another d3 hits, when he gets 3 hits, and he kills another 3 Knights of the Realm, because apparently I cannot make a 3-up armor save to save my life. I think that was all he did for his magic phase. I stopped the rest of his spells. In shooting, he killed a Peasant Levy with something. Oh, I think it was the throwing weapons from the Briar Maidens. The Dragon did a breath weapon on the Pegasus Knights, but failed to do anything there. The Sylvan Archers on the hill shot at the Knights of the Realm and killed another one. So I'm now down to, I think, two or three Knights of the Realm left in that unit, plus my BSB and my Duke. And on the right flank, the Pathfinders shoot at my Growl Knights and kill 2 of them. Yet again, I can't make these armor saves. So that's his shooting phase, and there was no combat. Okay, Kingdom of Ecotane turn 2, so let's see if I can do any better this turn. So instead of just going by phases, I'll go left to right. So my Pegasus Knights charge into the flank of the Forest Guard, which I thought was a pretty good idea. I kill 4 or so, but of course skirmishes have no ranks, and he's steadfast, so he just stays. Otherwise I would have caught him, which would have been fun. The Peasant Levy charged the Briar Maidens. They held. We did a wound apiece, and he lost and fled. Sadly I couldn't catch him, and I didn't overrun into that combat there. The Peasant Bowman on the hill on the left, I think when I shot the Eagle, didn't do any wounds. The Duke on the Pegasus moved up behind that hill to try and get closer to the Dragon again. My Knights of the Realm, or what was left of my Knights of the Realm, charged the Blade Dancing unit. I killed 2 of them, but lose the rest of my Knights of the Realm in return, so I've just got my BSB and my General left there. The Peasant Bowmen shoot at the Thicket Beasts and manage to deal a wound to one of them. Both my Trebuchets, I think, shot at the tree on the right and missed. The Peasant Bowmen, the Growl Knights charged the Blade Dancers, and Blade Dancers with additional hand weapons are initiative 6, so they go first, and they kill 3 Growl Knights, and I'm just really annoyed at this point. So I attack back with my 1 champion, and I just kill 1 of them. I think I win combat, but he sticks around anyway. On the right flank here, my Knights Forlorn come in behind his Pathfinders, and hopefully they can get in there next turn and not suffer too many casualties from the shooting. And of course, on the bottom there, my Pegasus Knights fail to rally, and they flee off the board. So they've done nothing all game. What a waste of points. All because of that tree, so we'll see what we do next turn to make up for it. Now, Sylvan Elves turn 2. So we'll go left to right again. So his eagle charged my peasant bowman. Stand and shoot, I did 1 wound and he failed the charge. So he's just sitting there ready for me to shoot him again. His blade dancers moved up to get closer to my bowman. And his dragon made a nice flank charge onto my peasant levy. So of course that lord on the dragon just completely thunderstopped the entire unit and overrun. The forest guard fighting my Pegasus knights did enough wounds to kill 2 of them. I killed 2 of them in return, but of course I failed and I flee and he catches me moving into the forest. His Briar Maidens rally. His Thicket Beasts advance up. The general, my general and my BSB, they managed to kill the remaining, they killed all but 1 of the blade dancers, and the blade dancers flee, and of course I catch them and overrun into a nice position to charge the archers on the hill. My remaining Grail Knight and the damsel there, the damsel suffers a wound, but I managed to beat them in combat and they fled and I caught them, so that's useful. The Pathfinders shot at my Knights Forlorn and only killed 1, so I was happy with that. And his Tree Father moved up. His Sylvan Archers shot at my Peasant Bowmen and killed enough of them to cause a panic test, and of course they flee, but they only fled 3 inches, so that was pretty good. They're on the board for now. And that was it for the end of Sylvan Elves turn 2. Into the Kingdom of Aquitaine turn 3. So my charges, of course, my Grail Knights and my General and BSB charged his archers on the hill, and they did a few wounds. Of course he still had at least 5 models, which means he's steadfast, so he stuck around. My Knights Forlorn charged his Pathfinders. I lost 4 Knights Forlorn, but I managed to do enough wounds to kill them and overrun, chase them down, and I caught them. Landing in the middle of this pond. I didn't take any wounds, which was nice. On the left, my Peasant Bowman shot at the Blade Dancers and killed 1 of them. And my Duke did his Breath Weapon from his Lance at the Forest Guard and failed to kill any. I think I rolled double 1s for the number of hits. My Peasant Bowman that fled the turn before have now rallied and they turned around. And both my Trebuchets target the Tree Father, and one of them scores a direct hit and does 3 wounds. So I'm almost halfway, I am more than halfway to killing that thing. So Sylvan Elves turn 3. On the left, his eagle charged my Peasant Bowman. I stand and shoot and managed to kill it. He then charges with his Blade Dancers. He kills quite a few peasants. I managed to kill 2 of them in return with my peasants, which is hilarious. Then of course I flee, he chases and runs me down. His Forest Guard unit reforms just to face my Duke so that he can shoot some magic at him, but the magic is completely ineffective. I think I stopped all of his spells. His Lord on the Dragon charges my Peasant Bowman, who had just rallied, and of course they failed their terror check and flee again, but they're still on the board. They don't flee off the board yet. For some reason he doesn't move his Thicket Beast, they just sit there. His Briar Maidens move up to potentially charge the Knights Forlorn or the Grail Knights or something next turn. In the combat with the archers, I deal a heap more wounds to them, but they still stick around, which is really, really annoying. I really want those guys freed up so they can deal with some other threats on the board. And his Tree Father on the right fails his march block test, so just moves forward a bit. He was hoping to kind of get behind them or something, but instead he just moves forwards instead. And that was the end of his turn 3. So in my 4th turn now, my Duke on the Pegasus charges into the Thicket Beasts, and his Thicket Shepherd there issued a challenge. So I did enough wounds to kill the Shepherd with a whole bunch of overkill, He did 0 wounds to me in return because I was a much higher initiative, so I win that combat. In the top there, I finally killed the remainder of the Sylvan Archers, or enough for them to flee. I chased them down with my General and BSB to get them out of the way of a lot of other things. And the Grail Knights just reformed, or the single Grail Knight reformed. On the right, my Knights Forlorn charge the Tree Father. I lose 4 Knights Forlorn and I deal 0 wounds, but I managed to pass my panic check and I do not flee from that. I think my peasant bowmen here rallied, but they're not facing the right way, so they rally again, surprisingly. I have no idea how this is happening. And now here's the overrun, so I overrun with my Duke into the Briar Maidens, which is cool. I should be able to kill them on his next turn. In the Sylvan Elves turn 4, his Lord on a Dragon charged my Peasant Bowman. They fail their terror check and run off the boards, and he redirects into my Trebuchet and makes quick work of that, which is obvious. His Forest Guard move up to try and get near the rest of my units. My Duke manages to annihilate the Briar Maidens and overrun again. And his Tree Father kills my remaining Knights Forlorn on the right flank there. And that was the end of his 4th turn. In my 5th turn, my Duke on Pegasus charges his Tree Father, and the rest of my units just run away, basically try and conserve points. So I managed to do enough wounds to kill the Tree Father outright before he can attack back. This Might Duke Lance combo is incredible. And of course afterwards I overrun just to try and get away from things, and my Duke ends up there. In the Sylvan Elves turn 5, his Lord on the Dragon charges my 2nd Trebuchet and of course makes quick work of that. He moves the rest of his units around. He's trying to get his Forest Guard up so that he could get a bead on my Grail Knights, so he cast a fireball at least at them, trying to get the signature spell off as well, but he still managed to stay alive after all of those spells. And that was the end of his turn. He didn't really have anything else. And in my final turn, I just run away with everything, try and keep everything alive as much as I possibly can, and just end my turn, see what he can do. And of course, in the final turn of the game, he moves his Forest Guard up, does a fireball at the Grail Knight, and manages to finally kill him. So he gets all of the points of that unit instead of just half the points. But oh well, that's pretty much going to lose anyway, so we'll just go into a quick overview. So here is the final scores. So I managed to score 1,364 of him, which I was quite surprised at, but I guess I did get quite a few of his units in the end there, and he scored 2,008 from me. So keeping my 2 Dukes and my Paladin BSB alive definitely helped me a lot, otherwise it would have been more of a crushing victory. So as it stands, the difference was 25% of the total game points, which for the Mighty Empires campaign we're playing, it's between 10 and 30%, so that only meant a minor victory to the Sylvan Elves. So I was happy to concede that minor victory. Definitely after what happened in my first turn, I thought everything was going to go a lot worse than it did. So thanks everyone for watching my 3rd game in this Mighty Empires campaign. If you want to check out the other 2 videos, make sure you go to my channel. I also have a video up explaining how this Mighty Empires campaign works for those of you who are interested. I go through how a typical round would look like. So be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys around.